Welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast, episode 27. Boys, we had a crazy one today. It was our first day of free agency. We got a lot of notes, like 3 to 5 pages of notes for this one. It's kind of crazy. But this episode is also sponsored by, well, a man can dream.
Yes, a man can dream. I don't know how to feel about today, to be honest.
I'm not, satisfied, but I'm not mad either. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of change to the league. A lot of change.
I don't know. It's, this year I really realized it is how you have to always remember rosters or rethink rosters every start of the season because, especially this season because, how many? There was I think at the start, the first 3 hours, $500 million was given out for cap. Something like that. So
in the first day of free agency.
But okay, I have a challenge here for myself here. I have the list of, not everyone, because there's definitely going to be some players I missed, but everything that has happened. Signings and trades from today, even the ones before 12 o'clock.
Day one of free agency.
Should I try and get through this?
If you want to add anything before you go off, I probably would say your final words right now. But
my final words is I'm going to mumble. So good luck listening.
He's going to do the butt fumble. So Godspeed, boys. Let's see if he can speed run this.
This is before the 12 p.m. deadline or our start or whatever.
All right, and go.
3, 2, 1, go. Detroit gets Ville Husso for St. Louis, pick 73, 3 years, $4.75 million. New Jersey Devils, they get Vanacek for a trade for pick 37 and 70 for the Washington Capitals. The Philadelphia Flyers get Tony DeAngelo, RFA rights, pick 220 for Carolina. They get 2024 second, 2023 third round 101. They sign Mr. DeAngelo 2 years, $5 million per year. Luke Kunin to San Jose for Nashville. John Leonard in 2023 third. Duncan Keith retires. Great career for him. Adrian Kempe signs 4 years, $5.5 million. Great signing. Lucas Johansson to Washington, 2 years, $762K. Nashville gets Philip Forsberg back, 8 years, $8.5 million. Holtby may retire because of injury. Sebastian Aho, the bad one. He's not that bad. New York Islanders, 2 years, $825K. Colorado, Georgiev, they get 3 years, $3.4 million. Av Sakic goes to President of Hockey Ops. Chris McFarland is now their GM. LA, Carl Gunstrom, 2 years, $1.3 million. Elias Anderson, 1 year, $750K. Michael Pezzetta, 1 year, $750K. Alex Nylander to Pittsburgh, or he's already in Pittsburgh, but re-signs two-way. Bridge deal, 1 year, $750K. Marian Studnik to Dallas, 1 year, $750K. Re-sign, Christian Fisher to Arizona, re-sign, 1 year, $1.2125 million. Valerian Nichushkin, 8 years, $6.125. Toronto now gets Matt Murray, 25% retained. Ottawa has to do that. 23 third and 24 7th for future considerations. Rest in peace, great player. Ricard Raquel resigns with the Pittsburgh Penguins, 6 years, $5 million. A year. Buffalo gets Vinny Hinostroza, 1 year, $1.7 million. That's a re-sign. Alex Edler re-signs with the Los Angeles Kings, 1 year, $750K. Stefan Nosen, Carolina, 2 years, $762K. Cam Talbot goes to Ottawa in exchange for Minnesota for Philip Gustafsson. Pittsburgh re-signs Evgeny Malkin. Gino was angry in scores. 4 years, $6.1 million. Edmonton re-signs Evander Kane for 4 years, $5.125 million. Darren Helm re-signs with Colorado Avalanche, 1 year, $1.25 million. Colorado also re-signs Josh Manson, 4 years, $4.5 million. Boston, Pavel Zacha, RFA rights to New Jersey gets Eric Holla. New Jersey, Andrew Burnett is assistant coach. Buffalo, which player was this? Buffalo gets. Oh, I think this was Victor Olofsson, 2 years, $4.75 million. This was before 12 p.m. Okay, 12 p.m.
Keep going.
Ready?
You're doing great. Keep going.
Edmonton signs Jack Campbell, 5 years, $5 million. Claude Giroux, 3 years, $6.5 million to Ottawa. Ilya Samsonov goes to Toronto, 1 year, $1.8 million. Tampa Bay Lightning get Ian Cole, 1 year, $3 million. Brendan Smith goes to New Jersey, 1 year, $1.1 million. Detroit, they sign Marco Casper to their entry level. So it's with David Jiricek to Columbus, entry level. Dennis Hardenberg, same thing. Hildenberg, 3 year entry level. Vancouver, Curtis Lazar, 3 years, $1 million a year. Calgary gets Kevin Rooney, 2 years, $1.3 million. We'll get more into that later. Robert Thomas gets a big payday too with St. Louis, 8 years, $8.125 million per year. Vincent Trocheck to New York Rangers, 7 years, $5.65 million per year. Wyatt Kalnick goes to Vancouver for 1 year, 750K. Nick Aube-Kubel goes to Toronto, 1 year, $1 million. Andrew Kopp goes to Detroit, 5 years, $5.625 million. Trust the Iser plan. Florida gets Nathan Staios, 3-year entry level. Nick Leddy goes to resigns with St. Louis, 4 years, $4 million. Arizona, Troy Stetcher, 1 year, $1.25 million. Max Domi goes to Chicago, rest in peace, good sir. You had a good career, 1 year, $3 million. So with Andre Athanasiou, 1 year, $3 million. Buffalo gets Ilya Lyubushkin, 2 years, $2.75 million. Detroit, Oli Mata, 1 year, $2.25 million. Vancouver, Ilya Mikheyev, 4 years, $4.75 million. Buffalo, Eric Comrie, 2 years, $1.8 million. Yaroslav Halak goes to the Rangers as Igor's backup, 1 year, $1.15 million. Colin White to Florida, 1 year, $1.2 million. Vancouver gets Colin Delia, 1 year, $750K. Anaheim gets Frank Vetrano, 3 years, $3.65 million. Okay, Nate Masakov goes back to Tampa Bay, 1 year, $2.5 million. Toronto, Adam Gaudette, 1 year, $750K. Brett Kulak, great signing, by the way, 4 years, $2.75 million per year. That's re-signed, sorry. Mikhail Sergachev re-signed, 8 years, $8.5 million. St. Louis, Thomas Grice, 1 year, $1.25 million. Anthony Cirelli, 8 years, $6.25 million. Tampa Bay, you have so much money, what are you doing? Pittsburgh, Dustin Tokarski, 1 year, $775K. Eric Chernak, 8 years, $5.2 million. Los Angeles, Brendan Lemieux, 1 year, $1.35 million. Nick Milosh goes to Calgary, 1 year, $950K. Woo! Johnny Gaudreau sweepstakes. Charles Houdon, Colorado, 1 year, $750K. Darcy Kuemper, 5 years, $5.25 million to Washington Capitals. Toby Paquette Bisson, 1 year, $750K to LA. Arizona, Nick Bukestad, 1 year, $900K. Pittsburgh, Xavier Oulet, 2 years, $762.5K. Charlie Lindgren, Washington, 3 years, $1.1 million. Mason Marchment. Damn, I wish we could have got Marchment. Dallas, 4 years, $4.5 million. Matt Irwin, Washington, 1 year, $750K. Lauren Dauphin, 1 year, $750K to Arizona. New York, Ty Emberson trade the rights for him to Arizona for Patrick Nemeth, 2023 second, 2024 third, 2026 second. Colin Blackwell, 2 year, $1.2 million. Nola Chari to St. Louis. Colin Blackwell to Chicago. St. Louis, Nola Chari, 1 year, $1.25 million. Nick Cousins, 2 year, $1.1 million to Florida. Colorado, Arturi Lehkonen re-signs, 5 years, $4.5 million, well-deserved. San Jose signs Oscar Lindblom, 2 years, $2.5 million. I love that one. Louis Domingue gets the East Spicy Pork in New York, 2 years, $75K. New York Rangers, by the way. Eric Gabranson, the better of the tall, big boy defenseman, and for Calgary last season, 4 years, $4 million. Oh, that's a big cap hit. Pittsburgh, Jan Ruda, 3 years, $2.75 million. Detroit, Ben Sherratt, 4 years, $4.75 million. Steve Yzerman Fleece. Montreal, Slavkovsky gets his entry level. Eric Gustafsson now then gets to sign with the Washington Capitals, 1 year, $800K. Jeremy Davies to Buffalo signs 1 year, $750K. Burakovsky, 5 years, $5.5 million to the Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken also gets was that Tokarski? No, it wasn't Tokarski. Sorry. So I meant Florida Mark Stahl, 1 year, $750K. Seattle Shane Wright entry level. David Riddick, 1 year, $900K. Anthony Richard, Montreal, 1 year, $750K. Madison Bowie, Montreal, 1 year, $750K. Dakota Joshua, Vancouver, 2 years, $825K. Dominic Kubalik, 2 years, $2.5 million per year, Detroit. Edmonton, Greg McKaig, at the Keg, 2 years, $762.5 per year, okay. Mitchell Stevens, Montreal, 1 year, $750K per year. Just 1 year, never mind. Florida, Alex Lyon, 1 year, $750K. Roland McCowan, 2 years, $762.5K. Then Carolina, Brent Burns trade, 34% retained, weird number. And Lane Pedersen as well. And San Jose exchange for Stephen Lorenz, E2 McNiemi, 2023 conditional and third. Josh Brown to Arizona, 2 years, $1.275 million. Man, my writing's getting really bad at this point. Detroit. I just said Detroit, 2 years, $4.75 million. Who was that?
I wonder who signed with Detroit.
Phoenix Copley, LA, 1 year, $85K. Cooper Marody, Philadelphia, 2 years, $762.5K. Buffalo, Cal Clegg, 1 year, $750K. Tampa Bay Lightning, Felix Robert, 2 year entry level. Boston, Vinny Lettieri, 1 year, $750K. AG Greer, Boston, 2 years, $762.5K. Stephen Fogarty to Minnesota, 2 years, $762.5K. Nick Patan, Minnesota, 2 years, same thing, $762.5K. Andre Schuster to Minnesota as well, 1 year, $750K. Brendan Baddock, Minnesota, 1 year, $750K. Alex Stalock, Chicago, and Brent Cine, both 1 year, 775K, 750K. Calvin Pickard to Edmonton, 2 years, 762.5K. Nick Deslauriers to Philly, love that one, 4 years, 1.75 million. Philadelphia again, Justin Brown, 1 year, 1.8375 million. Okay, Scott Sabrin to Ottawa, 1 year, 750K. Jake Lucchini, 1 year, 750K. Ottawa, Christian Rubens, 1 year, 750K. Calgary, re-signed Trevor Lewis, 1 year, 800K. Henrik Borgstrom, 1 year, 750K. Colin Miller to Dallas, 2 years, 1.85 million. Joshie Archibald, Pittsburgh, to 1 year, 900K. Nico Sturm, San Jose, 3 years, 2 million. Justin Schultz, Seattle, 2 years, 3 million. San Jose, Marcus, I don't even know how to say that name. I didn't even write that well. 1 year, 1.5 million.
You didn't get
Adam
going.
Brooks, Philadelphia, 2 years, 762.5K. And then Carolina absolutely gets the fleece because Vegas literally traded Pacioretty for like Nick Suzuki and Thomas Tatar, who's actually scored more than Pacioretty. Pacioretty goes to Carolina and Dylan Coghlan too in exchange for future considerations. Love that guy. Carolina. Andre Kasha, I didn't even put how much he made. Connor Brown trade to Washington in exchange for a 2024 second to Ottawa. Martin Jones gets signed by Seattle, 1 year, 2 million. Vancouver, Phil Di Giuseppe, 1 year, 750K. New Jersey, Mason Gearstein, Alberta boy there. Hard nose, 1 year, 750K. Philadelphia, Troy Grosnick, 1 year, 750K. Seattle, Ryan Wintero? 3 year entry. I can't read my own writing, man. Jacob Mellison, Seattle, 3 year level entry. SGS, Andrew Magazzino, 2 years, 775K. The sign that we shall not name till later. Nashville, Matt Benning, 4 years, 1.25 respectively per year. Marcus Johansson, Washington, 1 year, 1.1 mil. Drake Kajula to Pittsburgh, 1 year, 750K. Malcolm Subban gets re-signed to Buffalo, 1 year, 850K. All that singing does pay off. Vegas, Brett Howden, 1 year, 1.5 million. Michael Hutchinson, 1 year, 750K. Hayden Fleury to Tampa Bay, 2 years, 762.5K for once they actually paid something that anyone else could pay. They have too much cap space. Byron Fraze to Vegas, Flames, 2 years, 762.5K. Riley Smith, 3 years, 5 million. Jack Dugan, 1 year, 750K. Okay, hold on here. We gotta keep going. William Benton, St. Louis, 2 years, 762K respectively. Ryan Strome, 5 years, 5 million. That's hilarious. Dylan McLaughlin, 1 year, 750K to St. Louis. Jonas Rodenberg, 3 years, 766 per. As well as Sheldon Rempel, 2 years, 762.5 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Colorado Spencer Smallman, 2 years, 762K. Josh Jacobs, 1 year, 750K. Kevin Gravel, Nashville, 2 years, 762.5K per year. Kevin Stenland, 1 year, 750K to Winnipeg. Dennis Malgin re-signs, 1 year, 750K with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Andy Walensky, 1 year, 750K to the Rangers. This one hurts. Glenn Godden signs with 2 years, 762.5K to the Anaheim Ducks. Matt Luff, 1 year, 750K to the Detroit Red Wings. Austin Zarnik, 2 years, Flames legend, by the way. 2 years, 762.5K, respectively, per year with the Detroit Red Wings. We also have something else. Andre Palat, 5 years, 6 million to the New Jersey Devils, and I'm done.
Wow. I just got to give you a round of applause and a dab up for that. That was wow. Wow.
Oh, wait, there's more Flames, too. Hold on. We'll get more into this, but Colton Puman re-signed, Nick DeSimone, Clark Bishop, already Dennis Gilbert, Oscar Dansk, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not a whole lot happened for Flames fans today, and Brad Treliving didn't want to do much for day one of free agency, obviously. And you know what, T-Dawg? I got to give you a round of applause for that because, wow, you went off a bit, and I am impressed.
Okay. I'm writing this down, the 6 million per Palat.
Just for Palat? All right.
Okay, phew. All right, so that's a lot. We can probably go through a few of those. So I think the important ones, like Josh Archibald, are probably the biggest sweepstakes we can talk about today.
100%.
I'm thinking that one's really going to take
whole free
Pittsburgh
agency
back into the Super Bowl, 100%. Yep. Probably might win a World Series as well. I'm just thinking, too, gold medals might be up there, too, in that case. But, yeah.
How you feeling? How do you feel, Bert?
Well, okay. This is serious.
Oh, good.
This is serious.
This is serious.
I don't actually feel as bad as I thought I was going to feel today. Because last night we knew what was going to happen with the Flames.
Mm-hmm.
I feel terrible about that we did nothing day one, and I feel like that's going to screw us over a little bit.
Yep.
But Dumb me still has a little bit of positivity. So
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm in the same boat as you in this scenario. Yeah, we all found out yesterday, obviously, that JOHHNY Gaudreau wasn't coming back to Calgary. We were all upset. We all thought, honestly, he was either going to Philly or there was a lot of New Jersey talk, but just Columbus out of nowhere. I don't know if I should continue this conversation now or very end to talk about it more. Do you think I should keep going with it, or
what did you think? It's better to start with Calgary?
I was going to start with something. I was going to go a completely different direction.
Okay,
first.
we'll just do that then.
But before I do mention that, just for day one of free agency, there's been 153 signings. I don't know how many signings you exactly said, but there's been 153 just for day one.
Hold on, how many? Keep going.
Keep
I want to
going.
see how many pages or how many like lines.
So total contract years is 314, and the total contract dollars that was made for day one on free agency was $990 million.
Almost $1 billion
On day one.
Oh my goodness! That's
like
crazy. I lost my count.
Wow, what a great start to the offseason. I always think I think the draft is usually the start to free off season, but free agency takes the cake sometimes.
Oh, it's crazy, man. I woke up specifically for it, and then as soon as I did it, I started writing down notes, and I was hooked the whole time. And that's the nice thing about being a hockey fan is because I get to enjoy it more than just, of course, hoping what my favorite team does something. But I love seeing where players go. I love trying to learn it. I love seeing, will this player fit with this? I like seeing GMs fleece, and I love seeing GMs fail. I love seeing how Yzerman is absolutely going to take this Detroit team, and they're going to be Stanley Cup contenders in 5 to 7 years, and how Vegas is slowly dying, and it's hilarious.
Oh, it's great. That's why I kind of like the GM role and see what they do on these days, because this is where it proves to see if a GM and a head coach really are working well together, or what a GM can truly do for his job, because this is one of those days where it proves the most, and you could look at a lot of these teams and see where improvements were, and it starts with them. It starts with management of where these teams are truly built, and this is one of those big days.
So I did 5 pages, more than 5 pages, 160. That's a few before.
Yeah.
But I was close.
You were close.
Because there's always going to be a few signings from the bridge deals and AHLers that medias aren't going to report about.
No.
And it's fair. Like how Nick DeSimone, Clark Bishop, Dennis Gilbert, and Oscar Dansk, I didn't see besides Calgary media going on or talking about them. Dan's being a backup for Dustin Wolf there. Hey, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. And so you obviously saw my boy T-Dawg over here just kind of rant on about the few contracts that have been going off on free agency. We did that for this reasoning, so we're going to go through some of the big trades and the big signings of today, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth other than just going through them all. So the first one I wanted to go through, this one was one of the early ones, and it starts off with Ottawa. We've obviously seen Ottawa been kind of doing some really good things since the start of the draft. We obviously saw them pick up Alex Brinkett, and the list keeps going on, and now, first day of free agency, they pick up one of the big boys in Claude Giroux. He's signed for 3 years, combined money of $19.5 million, and for each year is $6.5. Wow, what a signing. This is, I thought, one of the best signings that any team can make.
I think
what do you think?
I think it's a perfect fit just because close to home, right? If I'm correct, Ottawa is his hometown. Or Ontario. We have to check that. But
I'll definitely check on that.
Veteran presence there, so he's going to help with the leadership with Jimmy Stützle. Jimmy, attaboy Jimmy. Brady Tkachuk, all that stuff. He can still score consistently. I think 20 goals consistently for the past how many years?
Quite a few.
But he is able to do it all still at an age, and I think it's a great addition. I think it's just going to fit well with Ottawa, and I like the moves that Ottawa's making because I don't think they make the playoffs next year, but they're going to be. I think they're becoming playoff contenders quicker than we realize, which is crazy because I'm just thinking about the past 3-4 seasons. It's so it's really cool to kind of see that there's some positivity. You can tell there's some excitement there in the capital.
Oh,
It's
I
awesome.
bet. Oh, also he is from Ontario. So he's in a very small town called Hirsis.
Oh, okay.
Hirsis or something like that. But quick just analysis on all of it. Great pickup for Ottawa. You mentioned a few points already, like veteran leadership on that team, and he could be the driving force for that team because like such a young pool of players like Ottawa has with Brady Tkachuk, obviously Alex DeBrincat, and a few others. Tim Snipshall, I believe that's how his name is, or if I'm correct. But honestly, great pickup. That was the guy I thought they needed the most out of this whole free agency, and they picked him up. So great pickup for them.
I also love how they got Talbot.
Oh my God, yeah.
I feel bad
forgot
for
to
Talbot.
mention that.
I really want Talbot to, stay with the team. I feel like he deserves to kind of like settle down, have his family like live in a place for like a long time. But I think that's a good pickup too, and I think it helps them. I think they're just gonna win more games automatically just because of some of these certain additions.
I'm really happy you mentioned that
awesome.
because I completely forgot he went to the Senators
Yeah,
as well.
it was one of those early ones that like it kind of slips by because no one can, because everyone's all about Fleury this, Fleury that with
Yeah.
Minnesota. But to me, it's like Talbot.
is underrated goaltender.
Minnesota didn't even really need Fleury to make the playoffs, right? At all. So it's kind of weird to think. I just feel like Talbot deserves a little more respect.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because of a little bit of a soft spot for him, just because with the Flames,
we know what he did for
all
us.
that.
We know what he did for us.
But yeah.
If you guys are also curious, Cam Talbot was traded from the Minnesota Wild to the Ottawa Senators. The Senators sending a goalie back in Philip
Gustafson.
Gustafson. Thank you.
Was it Eric Gustafson?
Philip.
Yeah, so I was thinking Eric Gustafson is the one that we used to have. Never mind.
That was the one we used to have. So great start with Ottawa so far in free agency. Then we jump over to the far west of the world, the far west of Seattle. And we go with Seattle Kraken and start signing Andrew Burakovsky for 5 years, $27.5 million, 5.5 per year. Wow, I really wanted this player for the Flames. After Gaudreau left, this would have been a great pickup.
There was a few abs. I'm like, man, if you can get him on a decent deal, right, come to Calgary, I think that'd be a great addition, right? Some more scoring. I think what's nice with Burakovsky is you have some of these older players who are able to like put points and put pucks in the net. And be clutch in scenarios. By the time his contract ends, you should have Matty Beniers and Wright primed up.
Yeah.
Or not primed up, sorry, but they'll be in and they'll be comfortable enough in the NHL that they'll be playing prime time. So that will be really cool to see what Seattle does. I think that's kind of what their goal is. Set it up right now so that when it's Matty Beniers and Shane Wright time to like come in and start taking over the league for say.
Oh yeah.
Then it's like, oh yeah, Seattle might be able to make an impact. So I see why they made it. I like it. I think with Calgary, man, like a lot of these players are around that signing, but there's no way you're gonna like keep a certain player if we kept signing like these like 5 millions,
yeah,
6
exactly.
millions, right? So wins and losses, whatever. But I guess we'll get into that later for say. But yeah, I think it's good for Seattle and.
They're taking the right steps for sure. Seattle totally did with this deal because Burakovsky is obviously on his career year coming off to Colorado. I believed he went all 82 games and still put up 60 points. So I'm not 100% sure if it was 30 for 30. I'll maybe look into that later. But honestly, great signing. They're going in the right direction, setting up that obviously skillful players for their developing, like you just said. And yeah, good signing for them. I'm also going to jump over to goaltending because there was a lot of goaltending moves as well today.
Okay.
And the biggest goaltender in this free agency, I believe, was Darcy Kuemper. And he went to the Capitals. The Capitals signed him for 5 years for $26.25 million, which is $5.25 per year. I'm not going to lie. I thought Washington was going to start taking that down slope. but they made a lot of moves the first day of free agency. They made a lot of moves, for sure. They got Kyle Connor from the Senators as well. They traded a second for that. And then you pick up one of the best goalies in, Connor Brown.
Yeah, I said Kyle Connor. Like,
Did I say Kyle Connor?
Oh, I'm like, Kyle Connor. Oh, no. Another 30-goal scorer.
I meant Connor Brown from the Senators for a second, not that. But you pick up one of the best goaltenders in free agency right now. What do you got to say about that?
So I think what Washington's probably doing is they're just trying to keep it solidified just for Ovi, I would say.
Solidified, yeah.
Yeah.
They did sign him for five years.
It is better, right? Because now Samsonov and Vanacek, both your goalies from the year prior, are gone. They're young, though, so there's a point to me where I'm like, maybe you should have waited on trading like Samsonov, for example, because I think he's 24? 23, something like that.
Oh, yes.
He's at a young age that it's like if he gets give him some few more years, he might become an elite goalie. It's very possible. But Kuemper, of course, is a pretty good committed, low risk take, except for the fact that Washington has injury problems already, and Kuemper has had injury problems.
That is very
not
true.
saying that it's gonna happen, but if that happens, right, like they've already are going through injury galore right now. So I think that's really kind of questioning what are they going to do. I think like Mick Backstrom, for say, is really holding them back on signing like for say forwards and other pieces like that.
Yeah.
But Kuemper was going to be great, right? And he now has his cup ring, so he's an official. He's a starter. He's now named up there with the top goalers in the league. I would say it deserves to be. I think it's going to work out for Washington. I don't know. I get why Washington did it, but at the same time, it's just I get with the Colorado's cap problem. I feel like Colorado maybe could have pushed a little bit harder for Kuemper, but I guess they just thought that their money is supposed to be put more with their forward group, and that their goaltender can be less of an importance, I guess, for say a top high importance. Yeah.
That's fair. They did go out and get another goalie, obviously. So It wasn't the biggest end of the world to Colorado.
It's just Kemper's better than Georgiev right now.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, but eventually, you never know what could change over time. 3 years could be totally different.
That's true. I guess Georgiev is younger, so
yeah. Great sign. I thought it was actually. I was very shocked to see this signing by the Capitals because, like I just said, I thought they were going a bit down that downslope since they just keep getting eliminated first or second round now since they won the Cup. And, they made a couple moves. They're starting to look a little bit more like a second round, third round exit again, but it's not. That's terrible to say.
It just depends if the Penguins,
the Penguins
Chris Kunitz, comes out of nowhere.
Tang freaking just ends it. Crosby ends it, just as always. But I thought it was a good signing overall. It wasn't like a crazy cap. And
no, he could have got more.
I thought he was hitting 6 more.
I bet you there were some teams that are offering 6.5, man.
I'm just curious who would sign.
I don't know, but when you just see, Stanley Cup winning goalie is on the market, I bet you some are gonna play a little bit more.
Yeah, that is
Depends
very
on the team,
true.
their situation.
And I guess we're on the topic of goalies. I might as well switch on to my other goaltending team on this. The Edmonton Oilers, holy moly, they went off on a train right in the morning. They signed Jack Campbell to 5 years for $25 total for $5 million. And then they also go out and sign Evander Kane for 4 years for $20.5 million, and that is $5.125 per year. Wow. It's not a good day to be a Flames fan. This team is kind of wrecking us.
It's the oil money.
Yep,
wait, what oil money?
What oil money? You live in Alberta.
Okay, so as well too, the Brett Kulak the re-signing. I love the three. Let me start with the Campbell one. I think that was a good deal.
No.
I like it.
Yeah.
I know there's gonna be concerns for say because Campbell isn't completely solidified yet. No. But I think he's still young enough, still at the age where he has promise, and I think him having teammates he knows and likes, I think he's like really close friends with Hyman, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Zach Hyman was
Something
actually
like that.
tweeting. He was really happy that they signed him.
So that might help too, but I think now that they're going to have a confident goalie, Or semi-confident that can play a 50. They're going to be a 50-30 split now. And you're not going to be like, you're going to have to keep switching between. Like, you know who your starter is. I think that's going to help Edmonton a long ways. One thing I'm confused about with the signing is I don't understand with Toronto. They are paying Matt Murray, even with retained cap, 4.68, I think it is, per year. So you could have paid Campbell around $300K more to keep Campbell. So I don't know. So contracts I heard were in sell with the agent and stuff. So and management. So I wonder if that has something to play with it. But I don't get it because Matt Murray is a bigger risk factor because you don't know him. Campbell's already on the team, and Matt Murray has an injury factor compared worse than Campbell's. I don't know. All I know is Edmonton, honestly, like, it's well-deserved, and I think it's going to help Edmonton a lot. Your take on that?
I'm not going to lie. Toronto, why? Why would just actually hearing that blew my mind a bit because I didn't even think about that at first because I'm like, they obviously can't sign Campbell. He's going to ask for too much and they can't afford it. Yeah, Matt Murray even got like his cap reduced and still
he retained and you're only saving $300K. Like are you saving for like more popcorn sessions?
Yeah, like, what the that is unbelievable.
Concession?
That is unbelievable. Matt Murray is now the starter for the Leafs, where they could easily afford Jack Campbell, and I feel like Toronto's just put themselves in a way worse situation than before.
I mean, it's possible that maybe he took a bit of a cut because maybe he wanted and felt like, I could go to Edmonton. I feel that. Which would be crazy because think of it, someone taking a cut to go to Edmonton, a place where the media, he was in Toronto.
Yeah,
he's
he was
used
in
to
Toronto,
the media. That would be wild. That makes sense. Everyone on Twitter is like, so many Toronto guys are going to Edmonton. That would make sense because the Toronto players already know how to deal with the crappy media. Yeah. So they could deal with Edmonton, they can deal with Toronto's because Toronto's is probably worse in my opinion.
Yeah, that is very true.
So... But maybe that.
Anyways, back on the Edmonton on my cap. Damn, I really don't want to say this. Jack Campbell was a good signing for them. You guys have a solidified goaltender.
Pretty much older signings this year. Like I'm actually, dude, Edmonton.
I'm kind of jealous. You're taking the right steps, and I'm really pissed.
Ken Holland. I'm gonna take back everything I said about Ken Holland this season just because.
No, don't go too far with it. Don't go too far.
Just wait until he signs.
It's
Louis
been one day.
five for five.
I'm waiting for that one bad contract he gives. Free agency.
Put the 2 and the 5 together around.
No, but so far, yeah, 2 great signings, and Brett Kulak was also a really good signing.
Love that signing, man. He is developed into such a solid player.
I wish the Flames used to have him.
I wish I understand, right? Because our farm team's been very good with prospect pooling. But here's the problem with it now, and we're seeing this season too with Godin going and other players for say. Luke Phillips also went, but I think there's a few more. I just can't think of the top of my head. But so many good that they're not even going to the actual team. They're just getting traded off, and not even for assets. You're just losing them to free agency, and I don't know if that's just bad management or it's just because the con of having a really decent farm team. Our farm team, we lost to in the AHL playoffs to the Wolves, where their goaltender Kochekov was playing some minutes and played playoff games with Carolina. Right, like their team was literally determining whoever wins that conference series wins the finals. And guess who wins the finals? The Wolves.
The Wolves won, yeah. I think that was a big factor in us, but we apparently don't want to sign any prospects that actually look outcoming in that.
Kulak's perfect. I think he is, for say, your Keith replacement. Unfortunately, I just think Keith was just too old. Just doesn't have like the swagger that he used to have, right? And I think speed, of course, has a lot to do with it too. Kulak's just young. I thought he I just thought he played his game solid. I don't know if I can say perfectly, but really well. And I think that's going to work out for Edmonton. And I think Edmonton, I was honestly maybe like 1 or 2 more defensive pieces away. And I'm going to be like, okay, Edmonton, like I'm really going to... I think there might be a few favorites for some series wins, you know?
Yeah, literally. that was the one thing I did kind of notice out of all of what Edmonton did do. That Duncan Keith retirement, that might hurt the defense a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a crazy change to it.
I don't think so, to be honest.
But you lose such a key defensive... Duncan Keith is still a decently key defensive piece of that core. Yeah. Like, you got to look at their D core, though. It's not as, like, flashy as many others in the league, but... Duncan Keith was a good veteran leadership role there. Obviously, they could replace it easily, but that's still a decent loss to your defensive core, the one that Edmonton has. But overall, still a really good free agency for them. And there is one team that also had a field day today, and it was the Detroit Red Wings, because Steve Yzerman on free agency just loves signing guys on the first day. And if I could quickly so he signs Andrew Cobb for 5 years. What was it? Yeah, I thought that was a really good signing.
Oh, what about, we didn't even give our words on Evander Kane signing.
Ah, shit, yeah.
I'll just quickly do it because I just go through it. Great. It was a really great sign. The fact that how much he scored and you're getting for that deal. I mean, of course, all the other situations, of course, caused that. But he's going to be there till McDavid's contract's up. So it's the win now. They're in the box to win now. And Kane's going to help them 100%. So Edmonton, I took some few W's today.
Yeah, you kind of also sent Calgary into a shit show. So also thanks, guys. But anyways, back to Detroit. Andrew Cobb, he signs for 5 years, $28.125 million contract, averaging annual value of $5.625 per year. That's a great signing by Detroit, and that's only the first one. They signed also Ben Shalott for 4 years. They signed it
on a decent deal. It was better than what Florida was paying him.
Yeah, literally. It was 4 years for $4.75 million. So not bad contract. Then they also signed David I lost my turn. David Perron, my bad. They signed him for 2 years at $4.75 million. So Detroit's kind of taken that leap of starting to get those depth pieces that are a little bit more aged for such a young prospect pool they have, and they're starting to take their ways up, and that's what I love to see from Steve Yzerman, because you could see he did that with Tampa a little bit when he first started. He got obviously his young core and those star pieces, their depth forwards that they need to go far, obviously, right? You see it even now with how Tampa is. And I thought it was a good day for Detroit, especially your day one free agency. What did you have to say?
Amazing by Stevie Y. There was one contract I didn't really understand with its term and stuff. I can't remember which one it was.
Is it Dominic?
It wasn't Kubalik.
Kubalik, yeah.
I like Kubalik's, but so much like forward, so much forward depth now. Yeah, I love it. I mean, because I think it was already starting to stack up with the defensive. A lot of it is youth prospect, but I think Detroit, it just is in a really good situation. 1A, 1B with goaltending too, right? Vanacek and is it Nedeljkovic? I think it is. It's Nedeljkovic. Yeah. So, yeah, it's finally looking like it's starting to come together a little bit here. And now that you have some of these players, because Perron has playoff experience, so does Kopp a little bit, and Kubalik is a great player. I had him on my fantasy.
Oh yeah,
didn't do as great, of course, but it's Chicago. So a lot of these players, right? If the team does well, they're going to benefit from it. So
definitely
get some inflated stats going on, man. I think Detroit is in a great position right now. And they have the cap space to do signings like this, and it's like, oh man, I just can't wait to see when Seider becomes the number 2 to Makar. Yeah, you know what I mean, or number 3
are going to go back and forth.
That, and when Lucas Raymond becomes an absolute stud, along with because they still have Larkin, right? I know they're going to shop Bertuzzi. I think Bertuzzi's going to be, I say cap, but. They're probably going to get rid of Bertuzzi there.
Stop the cap.
I mean, hey, like Larkin will finally have a team to play with.
That's hallelujah. And looking good over there.
And they have players that can fight. Giovanni Smith. So they got grit too.
Yeah.
It's starting to look good, man.
It's starting to look good over there in Detroit for once. Huh.
Good for them. It's awesome.
That big since Eminem and since last time they won Cups, literally. But anyways, There's one more. Obviously, there was a few. Obviously, there was tons of trades. We already discussed that. Signings. Do you have anything else to discuss before we hit the Columbus talk? Because I was going to end off with Columbus talk.
I'm gonna try and go back and just see if there's anything else that was pretty that comes off. I think Brent Burns. Let's talk about Brent Burns.
Oh yeah, Brent Burns.
So that's a good one.
Canes,
Brent Burns to the Canes, right? And the Canes really seem to be going after a lot of big name players.
This is, I think, their go for it.
I think it is, and they kind of have to go for it. Just cap is really going whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Lose a few, I think. They lose Trocheck from the season, so things like that. But Burns is veteranship, who also of course has playoff and Stanley Cup experience, so that's really good too. Big body presence, so he still is able, and he has because he used to play forward, so he has an offensive side to him too. Of course, he's older, but
he's always been a very offensive. He's a good two-way defenseman for sure in that sense. Yeah. But he has taken a bit of a decline.
Oh yeah, but I think the Canes win with this, and I think that's just going to be nice to even have just that kind of solidified the bottom four even.
Yeah,
of your defense.
They gave up 2 prospects and a third for Brent Burns. It wasn't a much give. It wasn't much for them to give up. I'm not 100% sure how their prospects were, but it was kind of a steal for the Canes because they're kind of going in all for it right now a year, and that's actually really
definitely.
impressive.
Well, and I think there's a few things. I wonder if their scenario this playoffs changes if goalies weren't injured, right?
Yeah, they would.
And it really sucks.
They still have Frederick Anderson. Oh
they
my
do,
God.
right? It's weird to think that.
Oh my God.
They do.
This team's going to look terrifying next season.
Yeah, right? That's why I do have Carolina as one of the winners.
Yeah, I do too. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that until now.
Dude, Detroit has Husso. Oh, they have Husso, Nedeljkovic, and Vanacek. So even if Detroit loses a goalie, because Nedeljkovic can be a backup. I think Nedeljkovic needs a few more years to become an official NHLer full time.
Yeah.
But he showed some really good signs with Carolina. So.
Wow, I never even...
Carolina has a thing, hey, where goalies, young goalies, just seem to do well. Cam Ward,
come out of nowhere.
Cam
really
Ward,
right
in 06. That's something.
Convenient in 06.
Sorry, I'm gonna just keep looking around here. So Forsberg, this is before, but Forsberg signed 8 years, 8.5 makes sense. David Poile's gonna do anything for Nashville to keep Forsberg. I don't know if he's. No, I think that's what you're going to pay for Forsberg. It might hurt at the end, but with these good players, it's always going to hurt at the end, right, with how much you have to pay.
That is very true, actually.
The one I really enjoyed and I've loved, the Adrian Kempe signing, 4 years, 5.5 for LA.
That was
the dude was a 38 goal. I think it's 38 goals. Search it up right now. This dude was almost
Kempe, sorry?
Adrian Kempe, almost a 40-goal scorer, and he's getting paid $5.5 a year. That is a steal. I bet you if LA starts starts really performing in the next few years, that's going to be an absolute steal of a contract like Marchand was a few years ago kind of thing.
He's 25 years old. He's played 78 games, so his first full season in the NHL. He put up 35 goals, 19 assists, 54 points with a plus minus of -2.
This season?
This season. That is impressive.
5.5
and he's only 25.
Right? Just remember.
In playoffs alone, he put up 6 points.
Just remember, Jeff Skinner scored. How many did he score again?
Jeff Skinner.
30 in that year?
He dropped. I think he dropped 40.
40.
It was 40 goals.
Got paid $9 million. So I'm just saying.
That was one of the most brutal contract signings ever.
Garbage.
Oh my God.
Just garbage.
Where is he now?
I think he's still with Buffalo.
Healthy scratch, I think.
Something like that. All I know is that Kuemper signing, love it. LA looking really bright too.
True.
And I was also going to talk about, Colorado re-signing all theirs. It's not much to say, but it just makes sense.
Tampa Bay turned off the salary cap
on
franchise mode.
Infinite money glitches.
Infinite money glitches. Yeah, they re-signed everyone today.
Well,
it was nuts.
I know, and some of the cap signings don't come in effect till next season. I think it's because some already
I think they also just gave off extensions, so makes sense.
But we'll see. You can tell they're already trying to do what they did before, is sign some younger, cheaper assets for their bottom four, and just hope the core can be there to really play well and that it works out with the bottom players to really contribute well, and it seems like it's worked the past 3 years.
Yeah, it really has.
So we'll see. The one signing they had.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Hayden Fleury, yeah, no, maybe that maybe he starts, benefits from it.
Yeah.
So that's something to think. And as well, St. Louis, Robert Thomas signing. Robert Thomas, 8 years, $8.125 million. It is a little much with the cap. The year makes sense, but he's a great defenseman. He deserves the money. I think he deserves about 6. I think it is an overpay, but Robert Thomas, his best season was this season. So if he only gets better from here, then $8 million is gonna look pretty good, right? I don't think.
Yeah.
So
that's a toughie.
That's gonna be good, and it begins next season, or the 2023-2024 season, so not this upcoming season, but the next season.
Got any more for me, or can I
see before we go into that one?
I think you got a good chunk.
I think we got the biggest ones, and that's one that mattered the most, right? Because you have your entry level deals, and I honestly
few prospect signings today. We already discussed our trades,
but I guess before we get into that, actually, let's talk about Nazem Kadri there, who didn't sign. So
not yet.
Weird, a little weird. I thought he was gonna just sign like that, but what do you think? Do you think maybe it's just cap things? Maybe he just really wants to wait out, test it.
I think he's waiting to test it. He's probably waiting for his offers and see what the teams are offering to him. I don't know if Calgary would actually do it. I know I'm just switching to Calgary quick, but I don't know if Calgary would. Well, they already missed out on so many big pieces, and it's you gotta somehow replace that guy.
I don't think it can even happen because remember he was in a trade for us. Remember that?
Yeah.
But his girl didn't want to go to Calgary.
Is he still with the girl?
Of that. I'm pretty sure they're married. But and it's never worked out. So I mean, maybe it'd be different now. But
Calgary's more livable than Toronto now.
The thing is, though, is you're overpaying no matter what. I know you're gonna overpay, but then it's okay, you don't pay Johnny, but then you pay the same money to Nazem Kadri. Is it worth it? He's a great player.
Veteran.
And the center works.
Center works.
It's just if you're gonna pay that money, maybe you wish it's more of a franchise. Talent. Then you know what I mean?
I don't think he would sign long term though.
The fact, I mean, I get it because McKinnon's contract doesn't end yet, but he's getting paid more. He will get paid more than McKinnon now at this point, and it's just
But
Nathan
McKinnon is probably asking for a pay cut. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of talk about Nathan McKinnon's contract, and they say he's probably taking a pay cut like Crosby would.
I wish some players would do that for us.
Yeah, literally.
It makes sense, man. Keep the team going.
Just keep the team
going. I think Nazem Kadri, man, wherever he goes, he's gonna make them better, 100%. I just don't think it would fit with Calgary, just because I think you're gonna pay too much for him. And why wouldn't you pay him more? Because I mean, he kind of has he has leverage because he won this thing.
Yeah, he won Stanley Cup. So he has the leverage.
He's already gonna have his price inflated.
However, it's not Calgary's first time paying extra for a player that just came off of winning a cup, aka Blake Coleman.
True. But Coleman doesn't hurt as much for okay, I guess it's all a gamble, but
it really is.
Maybe I'm just worried because Kadri has always been this good. But what if he declines a little bit and then the $10 million?
That's why I don't think Calgary. That's why I don't think Calgary would go long, because if you're looking at Calgary right now, you're in a situation with your all-star just left, just like that, and went to Columbus, and then you look at Kadri and he's that's the best player out there. You might pay him a little bit extra, but you don't pay him long term because you don't think you're gonna last as a contender as much longer as you think. Markstrom's on the wrong side of 30. Your defense is aging, same with your forward core. Your prospects look promising, so you do still have a chance. But Nazem Kadri, I could see a 3 or 4 though. I can handle a 3 for 10.
A 4,
4 would push it, but true. I can handle a 3 for 10.
Maybe I think it's gonna go long term. I can't remember. One thing
no way. I would not pay Kadri long term. No way.
No, it just wouldn't make sense just because he is getting up there, but he's in his prime, so you're getting prime Kadri.
Exactly.
So prime Kadri is worth it. It's just you always have to think about those last few years. Those last 2 years always screw over teams. They always do.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. It's a sacrifice because you can't be oh, well, we expect you to be like garbage by 35, so they're gonna pay you this much, and then when you're 35, we're gonna pay you $2 million. Yeah, you can't do that.
And also, I think Brad Treliving is kind of hanging from a stick here because, like, Brad Treliving has been GM for the Flames since what, like
2013 or
2014. So basically, when we truly started rebuilding, and he built Sean Monahan, Gaudreau, that whole core basically. So this is like his ending part, and this is where his job could be on the line. Because if the Flames don't expect something in 2 to 3 years, he could be gone. He could be replaced by someone and made to do another rebuild.
It could be his last season, though. Sutter's gone by this season.
Sutter's gone.
Because I don't think he wants to coach. I think he just wants to just retire. And it makes sense.
He might just
retire, just do some back officing,
I think
cut the stress out.
I think this year and last year might be his last years. That's really sad to think.
Which is weird to think. So before we get more into Treliving too, I just want to say that this is with regard with Treliving. He said that in the press conference once it was confirmed that Johnny wasn't coming back was that they didn't want to like rush and make a mistake and like, oh, so we lose our superstar, let's try and like go and pay him as much money we can to find the next superstar out there, like the next in line. So that's why I'm like, I don't think maybe we wouldn't get Kadri just because you wouldn't want to just go out and just blatantly spend $10 million. Not thinking about it. It'd be a great player.
He had to think of a plan B, though. He had to think of a plan B.
That's what I was thinking about. And that's what I was thinking today. I'm like, with everything that just happened today, of course, he must have had a plan B. If he doesn't have a plan B,
what are you doing?
Then what a lot of the naysayers are saying might be true because we keep losing all these like players for nothing. These good players for nothing. And we're probably going to lose Monahan for nothing. I mean, he's injured. But what if we lose Tkachuk for nothing? It's possible, too.
If we don't sign Tkachuk, then I'm on the bench about firing Brad. That's when I would draw the line. Like, okay, you already crossed this line. He had
such a good season last year.
I know.
I almost wonder... But you know what?
Because they have to sign Tkachuk, right? They have to.
You have to. We'll see, right? We have the leverage because he's an RFA. We really do.
Just because we didn't sign Gaudreau, you have more reasons to sign Mangiapane, Tkachuk. You have every reason to sign like Oliver Kylington and just those young core players that you need right now. Just because you did not sign Gaudreau. If you don't bring every single one back, you really became a loser in this offseason.
Yeah.
And you just put your job on the line for this season.
I think specifically a few players like Mangiapane and Tkachuk for sure. But it's funny how we were saying like, oh, let's get into it later, but then the Kadri sweepstakes went right into Calgary. So let's just say it then. So Johnny Gaudreau.
Okay.
You say it.
I'm gonna start this. So we obviously the other day got told by the media that Johnny Gaudreau wasn't coming back to Calgary. And that hurt at first. We're like, oh, you know what? Good for you, man. You had a great 8 years here. You're going off to New Jersey or you're going back to Philly. You're going to go home. Then it's free agency, day one. We see on our phones that this man goes to Columbus, the Columbus Blue Jackets, for $9.75 million for 7 years. This man took less money, left a contending team for Columbus.
Wait, it wasn't 9.8?
9.75. That's what I found.
Well, I guess you round up.
Yeah.
That we have to be detailed about this.
Yeah, we have
very
to be important. We'll get fact checked on that. No, but just why? I don't know. I don't know what to say because I just felt kind of betrayed because I'm like, okay, go home. Goes to Columbus instead. I kind of feel betrayed in a way. I feel like a lot of Flames fans are hurting a lot more from this than anything we've seen with this organization for a long time.
Hurt since Iggy, but Iggy made sense. It was understandable.
Iggy played until he was 35, and he was still here, and then we traded him.
This one is so weird because
I don't know if it
nothing was so whatever, and I get it. You didn't say, and I bet you it was. It is family reasons, and you have to respect that. And they have lives, and of course. He's doing this for his family. He's a family man. I respect that. That's a good person. You want people to think about their family over their career. That's because that's just life, right?
Yeah.
The way that it went, I don't know if it's media or whatever, but talks, whatever. Okay, and it was almost like a cock tease. You know what I mean? Because Treliving was like, not it's for say hyping up, but it's saying, we're doing this. I'm feeling good about it, and then talk stop, and then it was weird, silent, and then it was silent, but we're like, oh, don't worry about it. But it's like you leave it to the last minute, and well, it's not that True Living didn't leave it to the last minute, but it's like
he's been on it since
I
half
wasn't
the
worried
season.
to the last minute, and then it happens like this, but it's weird with Columbus because it isn't home. It is close in the sense it is 8 hours. It's 8 hours from home, and it isn't. And then the Columbus is in the same division, so we will see his family more.
That's true.
All that. So that probably has something to do with it. But it's like I was looking what New Jersey and Philly was doing today. They had to have been trying to make and clearing cap space for Johnny. There's no way they weren't.
They were making ridiculous trades to clear cap space today. It was obvious as hell.
If they're doing that, does that mean he didn't even tell them his decision till the last minute?
Probably.
So then, what did Jarmo Kekalainen do in Columbus? There must be an under-the-table deal. Something where it's like, I'll guarantee you this. My prediction, well, he's with Gabranson, so maybe he's one of his friends. Now,
we'll get into that in a second.
Eric Robinson is with Columbus. One of his best friends, Buddy Robinson, his brother. So maybe things like that. Oh, we'll sign your friend or something. That had to be more of a deal because he took a pay cut too. The fact that before though Columbus was initially going to offer him 12, like McDavid money. No, it's not worth McDavid money at that point. No. Then, okay, just let Gaudreau go. I don't care. But he goes on a cut. So they must have just given him heaven and earth or something for this deal. There's got to be more than it because it just seems odd, and Columbus isn't in a position where to win for. It's not about winning because Columbus
can't be. He went to Columbus.
Is in that position of. In my opinion, I think out of all the teams, Islanders and New Jersey are closest for cup contention, and that's before all those other teams. And I think New Jersey would have been the better choice. That's why when I wrote in the blog post, I said I thought New Jersey would be the best choice if he goes because you play with Hughes and Sharon Govich on a line. That's going to be disgusting. That could probably be another top line in the league again. And then you have Mercer and you have Hischier and other players around that.
Even if you look at this whole Metropolitan Division, you look at all the teams in here, like Washington, you just saw what they did with Kuemper. They obviously stacked up and try and become a contender again. Pittsburgh, you re-sign Malkin and a few other players, and you still look star-studded as always. The Rangers obviously made tons of moves, and you still have that insane core, that young core that you still have. Islanders, Devils, I see what you mean. Carolina obviously made themselves even more of a contender. Columbus looks like one of the lowest teams in the division, and the only team I think they truly beat now just because of Gaudreau signing is Philadelphia. It isn't about winning. It really, it is a personal matter, and I respect him for doing that. It's hard to probably be away from family, especially that far, but dude, you just totally shot every Flames fan in the foot because of that.
It wouldn't hurt as bad if it was New Jersey. It's okay, home. Or Philly.
Yeah, anyone except Columbus.
That's why I'm hoping True Living has a plan B, man, because I know it's just the first day of free agency, but something has to happen because if you are trying to just still go for it right now, you have to do something.
Job's on the line.
Right, we still have players that can score and stuff, but man, we're losing goals for because of this.
Yep, literally.
We just lost 40 goals. We just did. If you really think about it, for next season, we just lost 40 goals.
And who'd we replace it with?
Kevin Rudy.
Kevin Rudy, let's go. Let's go 40, bro.
Our farm team can help the bottom six, but our top six right now is probably going to be Toffoli, Lindholm, and Tkachuk. We don't even know if Tkachuk comes back, right?
I think he does, but we're still skeptical because we don't even truly know what to think. As Flames fans, we are concerned, and as Steve Dangle put it best, this team is ruining my life. Not as bad as Toronto. Dude, what you've gone through with Toronto, I feel like I'll never understand that true pain. But being a Flames fan right now, it's not any better.
The thing too,
you guys have Austin Matthews and goaltending.
The thing,
not good.
The thing too is, man, is Yeah, like this came out of nowhere a few months ago. Like how optimistic we were.
Yep.
I 100%.
We were confident. We were confident we were going to a cup.
I 100%. Everyone was, man. Everyone was.
This is what it feels to be a Flames fan.
But here is where we can have another TikTok segment here, is because
TikTok. Boom,
this could be a blessing in disguise.
It could.
Now, why do I say this? My
Why
opinion, it could be a blessing in disguise because now you have about 10 to 10.5 million saved.
That is true.
You can do things with that, right? Now, depending on what you do, it'll determine, right? But if you're going to go for it still, you have 10 million. Let's see what you can do with it. The problem is, of course, it's not a lot on the table for free agencies right now. You might have to make a trade. But you have a few assets.
True Living does like his trades.
He does like his trades, but True Living has to do something like now. I'm not saying like today, but you have to do it soon. And now, like before the off season, prime of free agency when agents are like, okay, I'm ready to talk, or yeah, let's or my player wants to get traded.
Yeah.
It's just so much. I don't know.
You know what though? Hey, it's only day one. It's only day one of free agency. I expect something out of him for day 2 and day 3, but one thing I also got to say is Johnny Gaudreau has been put himself in a situation where obviously a team isn't in the right situation to win right now, and I think he's also got to prove to probably the league if he is truly an all-star like he says, or did he kind of like get on a really lucky line? Because like obviously Gaudreau's had his struggles throughout the years with Calgary, and you could say it was lack of depth or lack of team play or anything like that. But this man was put with probably one of the best lines in the league. He dropped 115, tied for second. And now you're getting sent to Columbus. So you want to prove you're a star, here it is. This is your season to prove if you're actually an all-star in this league or not. It's going to be tough, but I would love to see if he actually does. If he puts up another 100-point season with Columbus,
that would be crazy.
I would stop any slander. But
that would be awesome. I think they all helped each other. I don't think any of them get to 40 or 100 goals without each other. You saw the power play, right?
That is true.
But who really was the anchor of the power play? I think it was Lindholm.
The driving factor was Lindholm.
That's why maybe I don't feel too bad. Like, I would hate to lose Lindholm. And I just want it so that Lindholm can have someone to play with.
I think he will. I think by the end of the offseason, he will have someone. It's just, we don't know who it is yet. That's the thing.
It's a weird
We're in
scenario,
a weird situation.
But maybe this is bad, man. Being a Canadian sports fan, things like this happen. American players don't want to come here because it's expensive, weather's garbage, media's garbage,
government's garbage.
Like fans.
Am I gonna get taken down for that?
The fans probably.
No, yeah, probably.
Fans are gonna.
Riots.
Fans are good, but we're really critical. Like, so already a lot of us are turning on Johnny because of this. There's probably going to be boos when he comes back. I bet there's going to be 90% cheers.
Yeah, probably.
The game back, January 23rd, is when Columbus plays at the Dome. So we'll see. We will see. That'll be weird,
going to that game.
Yeah,
I would low-key want to go to that game. That'll be a cheap one too.
It'll be weird. No, it probably
actually it'll probably be more just because Johnny's on that team.
I don't know, man. It's weird. We'll see. Think of it. Something could happen where a trade happens and we get a player, and we're like, wait a minute, no way. That might be something that could happen in a week. That could happen in a month. Maybe might not happen. So
just before we start like kind of going into that wrap up, could you just double check your phone and see if there's anything else we missed? Did something just happen out of nowhere?
That's why I keep checking my phone today, is because I've been doing that.
Okay. I just wanted to check one more time before we try wrapping up.
It's just my Instagram's just Stampede videos right now.
Oh great. Yeah, everyone's going to watch Big Sean. Yahoo.
No, just the Andre Palat was the last one, which I also like that for New Jersey. I guess that's probably who they got because they didn't get McDavid. They didn't get Johnny, so they're like, oh, well, I'll go for Palat.
Well, I guess I go for Palat.
I kind of wanted the Flames to go for Palat, $6 million.
did too.
Yeah,
Palat
we have the money,
really
but
nice.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know either. That's an interesting one.
So I guess we'll see about more tomorrow and stuff. Of course, we'll have more podcasts and more episodes to talk about when that stuff happens. Most of the big stuff has happened, but I don't know.
Hey, you know what though? It's only day one. It's only day one.
I just hate to say, but Calgary was a loser.
Yeah.
Calgary was a loser.
Calgary was.
We just didn't do anything that was
stunning.
We keep going and trying to solidify the bottom pairs and the bottom groups of like the positions, and it makes sense why you would do that. But now we gotta focus our attention on like top 6 now, all because of one player. It's so weird how it changes like that. Like just one player. I don't want to go into full panic because I feel like the way you've signed players, it was destined so that you keep doing this and then you rebuild. I don't think you rebuild with Markstrom. I don't think you can. I don't think you'd want to.
You rebuild with Dustin Wolf.
Your cap space right now, who you've signed, makes no sense why you would. So now you're gonna have, because of the gamble Trey Living took. Now you're gonna have to pay for some of the bad risks now.
Yeah.
And
high risk, high reward. That's the thing about this league. It is a high risk, high reward situation just to win a Stanley Cup.
I almost wonder if it's almost like a game of Texas Hold'em, and Trey Living, got a bunch of.
He got handed a bad hand this year.
He got some good hands last year, and then a bad hand, and he went in a little too much, and now we're hurting a bit because
he's looking at his chips.
We're realizing everyone else around us got a few more chips because they just want a few little they want a few little holds. They want a few little high cards. They want a few little higher pairs or more pairs or triples or something like that, right? No full houses, no.
You know how to play poker, right?
I know. I'm like going
long time.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. But hey, guys, it's only been day one.
If a high card wins, a high card wins.
That is true.
What I'm trying to say is like, the high card is like Kulak for Edmonton. You know what I mean? It's not like you won with a flush, but they still won the round. So it's like, you won the chips. You're getting there. I don't know. It was it's a terrible analogy.
This guy was lying to me the whole time about chips, and he pulls up a pair.
But I'm just saying, if Edmonton wins the high card, they win the round, right?
I mean, yeah, that is true. But if Brett Kulak was my pair and I technically beat your high card.
No. Okay,
you're trying to explain it differently.
Let me re-explain this. Okay, so it's like Tree Living won a bunch of rounds, had a lot of was playing with house money, and then did a pretty risky move. Not all in, but a pretty darn risky move. Hence, that would be the Johnny Gaudreau thing.
Oh, I got that part. Yep, I got that part.
You lose it, so you lose a few. So now he's gonna try and play either. He's gonna be startled, right? So he's gonna probably play the game more conservative now because he lost a decent chunk because of that. While other players around, he realizes around the table, these other teams or other managers who are playing are catching up to him in chips because they won a few rounds, right? But you don't realize it because they were winning like the rounds that were just really bad like hands everywhere, right? So if it was going to win on the high card, Edmonton wins on the high card. Hence Kulak, right? Because Kulak is a good addition, just no McDavid per se. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
now
that makes
you're
a
like,
little bit more sense.
because now it's like, Edmonton's already going to be probably already predicted to be first in the Pacific, but now Vancouver's looking like they might be up with Calgary, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That is very true.
So we'll see, man. It's weird.
It is really weird, but all I got to say, it's been one day of free agency, and it's causing havoc in the whole NHL right now. And just it's causing havoc for Calgary fans right now. Let's just say that. But hey, guys, it's only been day one, and there will be much more. Hopefully, you guys will see another episode. If more news hits the fan, you'll obviously see B-Dawg, that's me, and T-Dawg over here obviously give more news on our social medias. Obviously, Instagram, we've been posting all day on there, if you guys want to check that out. We're obviously posting on TikToks, obviously doing our YouTube and Buzzsprout and Spotify. And if you guys have enjoyed this, I would much appreciate, T-Dawg and I would much appreciate it if you leave a like, comment what you guys want to see next, and please subscribe and support the channel. We would love to see that. We would love you guys, and you hope you love us. T-Dawg, I'll let you finish it off because I started this.
Well, touche to what B-Dawg's words were, and all I can say is, hey, question for you guys. What did you like about today? Any signings you liked? Any signings you thought they were garbage? Any good trades? Who are the winners? Who are the losers? Write it down in the comments.
How sad are you as a Flames fan?
Yeah, how sad are you as a Flames fan? And ultimately, we'll just keep seeing how free agency goes. You know, offseason does have its benefits. Today was one, so let's keep going on. All right, guys. Keep on rocking in the free world, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace out. I'll see you soon.